Parker.
I was working on the final touches of Ted with my co-writers Alex Sulkin and Wellesley Wild, and we started talking about an angle on making a Western because we all thought it'd be fun to make a Western, and it seemed to have a lot of legs to it.
Seth and Alec and Wellesley are such a great partnership. The thing that's great about them as creators is they're always pushing their boundaries. For them, it was, what's a tough genre that we can take on and try to beat?
We were watching old Westerns, we're all a fan of the genre, and we were commenting that this era that's so romanticized in American film is actually a time and place that would have been so unbelievably depressing and dangerous to live in, particularly if you were not an alpha male.
Get a gun that's not so heavy.
This was Seth's idea from the beginning. How to just sort of stick a guy into a world where he just doesn't belong, you know, where everything's just terrible, he's just not suited for it.
How the fuck do you make a fire?
It's boring and it's dangerous, which is a bad combination. You know, there's really nothing to do, especially once the sun goes down, you're pretty much fucked. You can go out to your outhouse, but there's rattlesnakes, you're probably gonna get bitten and die.
The movie really is about a million ways to die.
There's really no upside of living in that place and time, and we liked the idea of looking at it through a contemporary lens.
I was sent the script and I read it and I thought it was absolutely hilarious, but I wasn't sure if they were all in Western speak.
A don't! I've never seen a don't!
And then when I talked to Seth, he said the main protagonists in it are all speaking like they're modern people.
Your dick's out.
We consciously kept Seth's character a little more contemporary.
Good Lord, Albert, you're such a cheapskate. Oh! Great, yeah, puns. Yeah, puns are the highest form of comedy.
Well, then they actually are.
They are, aren't they? God, I hate the 1800s.
He's the commentator. He's the only anachronism really in the movie.
These are all fuckers.
It's bizarre seeing him in this role. I mean, I still can't get used to the fact that our little Seth is now running show business. Seth's father has incredibly potent and gifted sperm, and it mixed with his mother's gifted and potent egg and created a super genius named Seth MacFarlane, who can do everything, and it makes us all crazy.
He still really hasn't given me any direction. I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants.
Just do that Steve Martin thing from The Jerk where you just like lick the side of her.
No, he's amazing.
The shooting out of the hand is like he's still toying with him.
He's like wearing 7 hats, and he does it in a way that never feels like he's wearing 7 hats.
Okay, cut.
I mean, you're acting all day.
Okay, cut.
You're between takes having to go back and rewatch that take.
Cut. Go again.
Plus, you're in pre-production for the next day's work. So I don't know. I'm guessing he's a crystal meth addict.
I am a smuxton and drunk.
He's just so smart and so creative and doesn't miss anything and really kind of pushes everybody to be their best.
We realized that we had a window to make the movie, and we had to prepare the movie while Seth was hosting the Oscars. And then we found a great town, Bonanza Creek in New Mexico. And then we started to cast the movie.
We weren't thinking this big at all. I mean, we had Sarah Silvermoon in mind, and we had Giovanni in mind. And then, yeah, people started sort of reading the script and getting interested.
He sent me the script.
I read the script.
I had read the script.
I got the script. It all goes back to the script.
And it just became a snowball thing where people were just like, oh, I want to do comedy. So then we started getting these huge actors. Now we've got this great cast. It's amazing.
Shut the fuck up. The combination of the script and Seth, for me, was a slam dunk. So I started begging instantly.
She's insatiable.
Until he satiates me.
Then she's totally satiated.
Charlize, from the first meeting I had with her, she got what this was. It's a very specific tone, and she just got it. It's like she was wired into my brain.
What are you, an ant?
We'll see.
Come on.
We'll see what happens with this.
I feel like I really understood the character right from the beginning. You know, I know what it feels like to be married off when you're 9. I just didn't want to end up like one of those 15-year-old spinsters, you know?
We get to do scenes. I get to attempt to make love to her. I get to smack around a bit because I'm a nasty guy.
Oh my God. You just snorted snot. Liam is okay. You know, I think Liam needs a couple of more years, and then, you know, maybe he'll find like... Yeah, I think for all of us, there was a little bit of a starstruck moment when he came on set.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, man. This is fantastic.
I was like, hi, Liam. He's like, hello, Sarah. My heart like skipped a beat, and all I could think is, they're going to take you.
Liam is what makes this a real Western. He was a phenomenal villain.
Yeah, likes a bitch. I'm making him very, very pure Northern Irish. Come and take this here. And his real name was probably Trevor McBride, but he's changed his name to Clinch Leatherwood when he came to the Wild West.
Clinch Leatherwood.
As one does.
It's hard out here in the Wild West.
Amanda, again, is a great example of somebody who is perfectly cast, and so you don't even have to worry.
I have that skirt.
Oh, you do?
I wore it to the fair like 2 years ago.
The scene on the log where she's talking to Albert, I remember thinking, this girl is really nailing it.
People are living to be 35 these days, and a girl doesn't have to just go off and get married right away.
She is so funny. She's out of her mind.
Got the fibula. The neck bone's connected to the ear bone.
She has no filter.
It's clear Proc guy did this. What is this shit?
While she's fantastic and I love her to death, I will never ever send her a drunken photo of myself
That's so awesome.
because I've seen a lot of ones that people have sent her.
Don't keep putting your dick on me, man.
That's not my dick. That's a mic pack.
No, it's not.
Foy was the hardest character to cast in this movie because he was the one character that had to be slightly heightened.
I'll buy you some sugared butter shavings.
Sorry.
I mean, what can I say about Neil Patrick Harris? He's magic.
I'm sorry, you're just really funny, that's all.
He has been, for me, such a teacher on this film. It's like watching a great artist just go to work.
I can't wait to have James Lipton talking to me about the process of crapping in a hat. Still bleeding. Too far? Too far.
Giovanni and Sarah, that was just a dynamic that you just knew was gonna work from the second that we wrote this script.
I get to do all my scenes with Giovanni, and I don't even know how to put into words. I want to eat his face. Like, he's so adorable. You want to just mush him. He apologizes for no reason. It's just his go-to.
Sorry. Easy now. Sorry.
He is almost like a tick, a sorry tick.
Did that suck? Sorry.
Maybe that isn't really him. Maybe he's just like really in character and I only know him from this movie. And then the next time I see him, maybe he's playing a gangster and he'll be like, fuck.
Edward, we are not having sex.
Sorry.
Ruth, let's fuck!
Coming.
Ruth was essentially written with Sarah Silverman in mind.
Yes, shit, that dirty cowboy come all over my face. You know, she's a pleaser, which is a nice quality. This is universal quality.
Action.
You're talking about premarital relations.
Oh? Sarah, she plays it in the funniest way. I mean, it's so entertaining to watch. I could watch a movie of her and Giovanni together just doing that.
I'm really fucking horny right now.
Let's go in the shade and fuck.
The shade.
It's such a great, totally eclectic, weird group of people.
It's just casting that works. If you have the right people, you can just let them do their thing. And as a director, you don't really have to do much other than let them trust their instincts.
Some nut butter. Now you're making me laugh.
What am I doing? Okay, ready. Shit. Hey, when it's right, huh?
To do a Western and to have it be a comedy is a huge undertaking, but we had a great time.
You give me the right amount, right? Like you don't have to eat it.
A period comedy, particularly a Western comedy, is one of the hardest things to do. And we're really proud of this movie.
Yeah, action.
One of the things that I've always felt is important to comedy in general is that if you're doing a comedy, play everything else seriously. Like, treat it with genuine reverence.
It's like they lose the power to innovate because they're staring at the stick hoop all day.
Yep.
We wanted the world to feel authentic and big, and prop sets, wardrobe, locations, all of it should feel rich.
Take your hat off, boy, that's a $1 bill!
Just because it's a comedy doesn't mean we should give ourselves a free pass to have it look terrible.
You look terrible.
We wanted it to look great. We wanted it to look like a classic Western story. My DP, Michael Barrett, is an extremely talented photographer. I said to him, I want you to feel like you're shooting a drama. Light it as such and angle it as such. And he really embraced that. And so I think it was very beautiful.
For Seth, it's very important in these movies to make them cinema.
Ow! That came out of my penis!
Not just jokes, not just frame, but he wants to create an environment, and he takes a lot of pride in that.
So we went to Monument Valley, obviously, which is legendary, which you see in every John Ford Western, and it was so perfect.
We're in the center of Monument Valley with an entire film crew setting up a 50-foot techno to shoot our two heroes sitting on a bench overlooking one of the most spectacular views of Mittens that you can see. So we went up there for a couple days. Super hot, very challenging to shoot in, but brilliant. Every angle you look at is great. If something's front lit, back lit, it doesn't matter because it's Monument Valley.
Monument Valley was incredibly beautiful, but very tricky. The heat was intense, and wearing 7 petticoats in 110 degrees is not my favorite way of spending a day. But other than that, it was great.
Spectacular backdrop, the real authentic thing. I mean, this is here. You know, we're not on a green screen stage doing this with plates.
We're all over the beautiful southwest of this country. There's a beauty to this movie, there's a choreography to it.
So we went to all those locations. We went to Jemez Pueblo, which is gorgeous.
You take Anna and right east and hole up here in Old Stump.
Old Stump is, you know, it's your shit hometown that you desperately wanted to get out of throughout your entire youth. You know, it's like Modesto. That's an obscure reference, but I hear Modesto is not very nice.
What's amazing about the set design and the production design is we are actually right now in Beverly Hills, California. We're actually in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the middle of nowhere.
We set most of our film at this single ranch under the idea that we'd be generally in one location.
They've been making movies here since the 50s, and everybody's put their stamp on it.
They used to shoot the show Bonanza here, right? Which is, I think, is an incredible historical thing, maybe, I don't know.
It weirdly, when we went there, was very applicable to what we needed, right? We had Albert's farm, we had the town, we had the barn dance, and it was just great luck that 80% of our locations were there.
We expanded the town. At each end of the town, we placed structures and planted trees and built a church on the hill. What we liked about it was the general texture of it when we came in, because it felt like Old Stump.
This is the Old Stump. That's the druggists. I know a lot of people spend a lot of time in there. The general store. This is a techno crane here. The 304.
A big part of our movie takes place in the saloon brothel. It's a place where people drink, whore, and die. Not necessarily in that order.
This is Doe Charpers.
And we have Doc Harper's here.
Or Doc Harper.
We're walking towards Edward's Shoe Repair.
Yeah, the shoe business is really slow since the Civil War. Really? Yeah, there's just a lot less legs.
This is where he lives, and he has an apartment over, which is also a practical set. The town makes the great backlot because you have your interiors and your exteriors. Every town needs a mustachery, at least in our movie it does.
This is where Neil's character works. He owns and runs this place where you can come in and get your mammal coiffed if it's just getting unruly. He's got all sorts of creams and things. We should go in there.
A mustachery would probably be akin to a modern-day barber shop.
We created hundreds of products in there, all with labels, designed every label.
Creams, pomades, gels.
We made at least 1,000 cans, tins, bottles.
Elixirs.
Seth has the ability to design down to the labels on the bottles, and it helps. Because when you bring a performer into a world, you want that world to feel authentic enough for them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you what any of this crap is.
So that they're not tongue-in-cheek comedy, a joke.
It's all Chinese to me.
They're actually performing in that world.
This is called duck cream. It's a skin astringent, and it just grossed me out. I had throw up come up in the back of my throat. This is where all the action happens, I guess.
There's a couple of barber chairs. You go get your mustache trimmed or waxed or whatever.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, they have all the different styles of mustaches, I guess. I mean, I don't know, Neil would probably be someone who's better to tell you about all this stuff because he did unadulterated amounts of research.
It's a class divide. It's clearly to show who has the liquid income to purchase the liquid accoutrement for something as nonsensical as facial hair.
I would have the Imperial.
But when you look back at old pictures from that day, people had the craziest effing mustaches you've ever seen.
The chevron, the handlebar, the pencil.
A really good friend of mine, actually, one of my best friends, costume designed this film, Cindy Evans. She's one of the best costume designers working in the industry.
Cindy really kind of meshed with Seth, right? They had a really common vision of what everything was going to be, and it was to be as authentic as you could be. It was, what did they wear every day? How did they look? How do you differentiate the looks?
The costumes are amazing. You know, down to like, I didn't know they wore these like webbed fingerless gloves. This takes place in the 1880s, but there's a lot of 1980s feel.
It's one of those things when you pay attention through the whole movie, it's pretty amazing and terrific the job she did on this one.
Wow.
I know. I had all this beautiful stuff made. Did I just fire my shirt? And honestly, not that uncomfortable, except for the heat.
You know, we were here for months and months prepping the town, and we had every bit of kind of weather you can imagine.
We set about to kind of make this authentic Western out in the elements. What we didn't realize is New Mexico has real elements.
Oh yeah, the weather's crazy here.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of weather. For the first 4 days, it would just be gorgeous, and then 45 minutes later, pouring rain, and then clear, and then freezing.
When we got here, it was really cold. Now it's really hot.
But you know, that's all part of it. Most beautiful places on the planet are really like that because of the extremity.
You know, it's hold it cloud, hold it wind, hold it swarmer bees, hold it pestilence.
We've been putting up tents, they've been blowing down. We've been putting up this, they've been blowing down. We had hail yesterday.
You're getting hail, the wind, and rain. You're getting hit hard.
We can shoot through it, though. We can shoot through it. We've got these falling right now. Be fantastic.
Yeah, living here in Santa Fe, it's so beautiful, it's so fun.
At least the wind's blowing.
The dust is the worst. It's like terrible for everyone. It's terrible for the poor extras who are out there.
1 second, guys, let the wind die down a little bit.
It's like getting hit in the face with a pancake of dust.
The wind comes from the south, sometimes 20, 30, 40 miles an hour.
40-mile-an-hour howling winds.
40 mile per hour.
50 mile an hour.
60 miles an hour.
70, 80 miles an hour.
1,500 miles.
Per hour gusts of nothing but dust. It's like really nasty. Then you can't film anything because dust in the background ruins the shot. And then if you turn around and then it's not dusty, then it doesn't match. So they've had a lot to deal with on this movie. But at the end of the day, comedy prevails. And you don't need a lot of wind when you're shitting in a hat.
It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's horrible, but it's just an adjustment.
Just another day in New Mexico, man.
And this is not a complaint. But when you blow your nose, it's just all dirt and blood, which personally, I get an odd satisfaction from. I find myself blowing my nose constantly because I just want to see it. But I'm a ear, nose, and throat doctor.
I think all of that in the moment can be frustrating, but at the end of the day, I think really lends itself to the story. So I can't imagine us making this movie anywhere else.
There we go. That's the movie. Oh, getting down there.
Although Seth might have a different answer to that.
Is this wind a problem?
The tone of this score is intentionally a throwback to some of the real classic scores of classic westerns. Seth MacFarlane is a huge soundtrack fan. He knows them all. And so he said, I don't want anything contemporary. And I love that music, so that was great to hear. Working with Seth, who is a fine musician, in a sense it was like composing for a composer.
Hey Joel, as long as we're doing this, maybe we ditch the strings there.
Because he's got ears that unlike any director I've ever worked for. So it was marvelously challenging. We worked on themes together and he gave me ideas and we collaborated, and down to even changing harmonies or melodies, he had ideas and they were all really good ideas.
Yeah, that works.
The great thing about working with Seth is he knows exactly what he wants. So it makes my job easy in a way because I show him a picture and he says yes or no.
So I think what you have is something that appears visually to be very legit, and to me that only helps the comedy. Because of the success of Ted, we had the luxury of inviting people to come do cameos in our movie and having them say yes, which if Ted had been a colossal failure, we probably wouldn't have had that luxury. It's been great because these cameos make for some memorable gags throughout the movie.
We are blessed that Seth has a long list of relationships from his Family Guy work.
We got Ewan McGregor, who just happened to be in town shooting a movie and came over and we're like, can we put you in the movie?
You, why are you laughing?
I don't know. He was laughing.
All right, great. You want to do one like the cowboy? I'll do a cowboy, yeah. How's that funny? Why are you laughing?
I don't know. He was laughing.
That's a guy. Hey, that's a wrap. Great job.
Bill Maher is a close friend, and I just like the idea of this old-time master of ceremonies being played by him in the same way that he gets out on stage on his HBO show and does his opening monologue.
All right, hey, it's great to be back here in Old Stump. I remember when this place was a one-horse town, and now look at you. Your horse is dead.
Which is one of many things that modernizes this world. You know, what's a way to modernize an old-time barn dance barker? Well, you have Bill Maher do it and do some jokes.
Okay, they're giving me the lantern. Enjoy the bison, and I hope you're enjoying your drinks as much as my horse enjoyed making them for you.
How'd you get involved in this project?
Drinking with the director. Like I get involved with everything.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about Seth. He knows everyone in the Hollywood industry, apparently, which is remarkable because he makes fun of most of them. So you'd think that they wouldn't want anything to do with him. But in turn, they're lovely.
Hi, you schmucks! Yeah, it just kind of was a snowball effect.
Well, hello to you, too!
James, I found the friendly locals.
These cameos make for some memorable gags throughout the movie.
Action! $1! I've never seen $1. Nobody's got $1. Let us see the dollar!
Kaylee Cuoco does a bit.
I would love to take you out.
Wait, aren't you the guy that backed out of that gunfight?
And that was like a mutual thing. Like it was one. I don't remember which one of us said it first.
It didn't look very mutual. You seemed to leave.
So you were there.
Yeah, pretty much the whole town was there.
The whole town. Wow, that's makes me a pretty popular guy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't actually.
People died to fail. Let's try it again. Move! Bring me one of the white girls. Hey, you like steak?
And cut.
You know, someone like Ryan is such a great sport because he was obviously in Ted for us and played this guy who doesn't speak, and then now he's kind of now going to be our lucky charm, right? We're going to put him in every movie but never give him a line.
Is there any version where I rat one of these guys out? Like, you know?
The Christopher Lloyd gag was just sort of a thought we had one day. We realized that we had been very diligent in our goal of keeping this world. We couldn't do any contemporary references. Everything had to be in the world of 1882. And we thought, well, you know, here's the one reference that you actually could get away with because it relates directly to something that you could sort of buy would be in that place and time.
You know, it was an idea Seth had. He owns the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And that Back to the Future that's set in the West is one of his favorite films. He loves it, he talks about it all the time, and it just was something that he was like, we should do this. Christopher was in right away. Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis were awesome, and we went to them and they were completely supportive and agreed to let us do it. So it was a huge win for everyone.
It's the only gag of its type, really, in the movie. It is the one moment where we step outside the reality of what that world was. And we figured, all right, we'll give ourselves this one freebie because we love Back to the Future and we love Christopher Lloyd.
What's that?
Nothing. When Christopher Lloyd was on the set, everybody came out. There was this buzz of excitement because, oh my God, Doc's here, Doc Brown's here.
This is yours, right?
What's that? Oh, do whatever you want. You're the
Sure.
you're the one person who can talk.
I don't want any resentments.
To kind of be back in that, to see Doc Brown again, to see that car, it's like seeing an old buddy from your childhood where you're like, oh my God, it's so great to see you again.
Action. Hello?
Oh, hello. What's that? A weather experiment.
Let's do one more and then we're good.
The 12-year-old in every one of us kind of came out that night.
It was as if we had some form of royalty visiting the set, and everybody must have a picture with Chris.
Thank you for coming out.
He was great. He was just an affable, kind, pleasant guy who really loved being there. And the other thing that was nice to hear is we were told that he loves that character. And that's refreshing to me because oftentimes you see actors who are identified with iconic characters and all they want to do is distance themselves. He has embraced that character and loves it as much as we do. So that was one of the most fun days on set during the production of the movie.
Great Scott!